Um, Let us explore the great miracle of meditation. To do so, I think it could be helpful if we worked from the English translation. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let's see. I think it would be best if we worked from the vast expanse of the diamond-like mind, composed by Prahe Vajra, translated from the Tibetan by Namke Norbo, translated from the Italian by Adriano Clemente, adapted and amplified by yours truly. Let's make sure this fits on the screen. A-OK. Wunderbar. The great miracle is not difficult. All qualities and capability. Oopsie, let's chant this together as a team. My mistake. Let's try this again. The great The great miracle is not difficult. All qualities and capabilities immediately arise within oneself. Through subtle understanding of the authentic conditions. So I think this will work much better if I change this font right here to Arial. Same thing over yonder. So let's see if we can make this make sense. Spoiler alert, I'm not the same person I was when I was 12, when I thought that spiritual systems of practice were designed to make me able to perform the Jedi mind trick and practice all manner of flashy miracles. It took me a very long time to realize the greatest miracle is not a literal miracle, but a figurative miracle. Consider, if you will, this image right here, this very famous image that's known by many names. This image is known in Sanskrit as Samantabhadra, Samantabhadri, Karamamudra. It is known in Tibetan as Kuntu Zangpo Yabiyam, which could be translated into English as the all good ones in tantric union. These four symbolize the essence of the Buddha's path of enlightenment. Their nudity reminds us of the mastery of mindfulness, whose vulnerability is symbolized by nudity. Their translucence reminds us of the mastery of meditation's non-graspability, symbolized by translucence. They remind us of the mastery of empathy, symbolized by their beauty, as well as the mastery of centered spontaneity, symbolized by tantric union, wherein the female represents spontaneity, or I should say, where the females sporting with abandon reminds us of spontaneity, and her partner sitting stably reminds us of centeredness. So what is the great miracle? The great miracle is full enlightenment. The Buddha taught that full enlightenment was simply mastery of the Eightfold Path, which is why in the Satipatthana Sutta he further explained that it is possible to master his path, to be fully enlightened, in as little as a week. let's continue. So now let's stay there a minute. So here's the wild thing. If we just focus on mindfulness and meditation, we play with it effectively, correctly, every 12 hours or so, then we will spontaneously and effortlessly and automatically master the wisdom of letting go. We will master the centered spontaneity, known also as effortless effort or right effort, and we will master the remaining 50% of the Buddha's path pertaining to um, loving kindness. Loving kindness of intention, kindness of communication, kindness of conduct, and commerce that is as cooperative as it is kind. All this from simply practicing mindfulness and meditation correctly. That is the great miracle. Let's continue. All qualities and capabilities immediately arise from within oneself through subtle understanding of the authentic condition. Now, what I'm going to do is make authentic condition underlined. Oopsie, come on. There'll be a... Oh, central nervous system, don't fail me now. Okay. So here's how it works. If you've ever watched The Seventh Voyage of Sinbad, way back in the 70s, the villain was this evil magician. He would look up a spell in his book, and he would concentrate really hard and be able to do his dark magic. And the movie got that right. Any magic based on active concentration is going to trigger our amygdala, the seat of anxiety and aggression. And anxiety and aggression are the most efficient ways of making our worst nightmares come true. But when we say, thank you very much, prefrontal cortex, you are lovely and I respect you, but I'm not going to meditate with you. I'm not going to concentrate with you. We just rely upon our sympathetic nervous system to notice our authentic condition. To notice our authentic condition vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly. That's mindfulness. When we say, thank you, prefrontal cortex, I respect your capabilities, but instead of contemplating or analyzing, what I'm going to do is, as I exhale, I'm going to rely upon my parasympathetic nervous system to physically relax and mentally release all the perceptions, emotions, intentions, cognitions, recollections, or imaginings I noticed authentically during my inhalation. That doesn't make them go away. It doesn't reduce the sting of a bee. It doesn't reduce the stench of cleaning out the cat's litter box. But it makes us so much less neurotic. It makes our choices and our utterances and our deeds so much less controlled by the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. So let's tie this up in a big red bow. Oopsie, sorry about that. Let's go back over here. The greatest miracle of meditation is mastering the Buddha's Eightfold Path. Being able to practice mindfulness and meditation spontaneously, habitually, easily, and effectively. Having concluded our opening lesson, I think it would be fun to shift gears to our group meditation practice. By the way, Jay, good morning to you. Happy New Year to everybody. Of course, that reminds me of the ancient YouTube song New Year's Day. Okay, I think they came out when I was in high school. Yes, 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 children, when the crust of the earth was still cooling. So I'm going to tap button 5. It is, ooh, look at that. I am scaring Obi-Wan's face. What heresy is this? Let's go over here and adjust the webcam. Ooh, the glory of Ewan McGregor's face must never be obscured. My goodness. Okay. It is Obi-Wan Kenobi Wednesday morning. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi for 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I spent about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that I can become your nerdy, neurodivergent guide to nirvana. Welcome, my friends, to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. Let's turn our attention to the latest iteration of Easy Mantra Meditation. So this is a new computer I'm working with, so I'm going to have to introduce all these wonderful Sanskrit and Tibetan words into its dictionary. The contemporary practice of Dzogchen is comprised of energy work, or Anu Yoga, simile chanting, or Maha Yoga, as well as mindfulness and meditation, also known as Ati Yoga. Let us begin with a bit of the old energy work, shall we? Together as a team, let us rest our left index finger upon its thumb. For the next 5 pages, we're going to perform recitations that are not designed to be prayers to real or imagined celestial entities, but instead are designed to exercise the neural pathways responsible for empathy. The first 2 pages' common denominator is we're going to play with a flavor of empathy that we could describe as idealistic. In our compassion may we long to free all beings, choices, utterances, and deeds from the tyranny of the survival impulses of hating, craving, and clinging, metaphorically known as the 3 mental poisons. We're now going to play with a flavor of empathy that is downright practical. In our pragmatism, may our liberation of all others be fueled by our reliance upon the Buddhas. Example, instructions, and students described by The metaphor of the three wish-fulfilling jewels. Now, on the 5th page of our recitation, we're going to recite the 8-syllable synopsis of all that we've chanted this morning. You know, if you are as silly as me, you might enjoy a splash of the old dopamine, and so we could blend this recitation with a variation of geriatric squat thrust. All right, here we go. I got to reach for my bow so I don't step on my own hair because that's just too damn jarring. Okay, here we go. Well, looks like we've got a challenge on this page. I'm not going to worry about it right now, so I guess I can. Here we go. Now, let me go back to the previous page and see how the alignment works. Okay, that's good alignment, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit this and see if that works. It does! Hot diggity dog. All right. We free all through the 3 jewels. May we free all through the 3 jewels. May we free all through the 3 jewels. Okay, that'll wake you up first thing in the morning. Whoops. Oh, coordination, do not fail me now. Oh, excuse me. All class, all the time. Let's chant Mahayoga's wise similes. To better master the impermanence and interdependence comprising the first fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path, please chant with me. Rather than indulge our controlling tendencies with the follies of active visualization, emotion, magic, and belief, we could just recite these wise words in harmony with our breathing and allow our subconscious to do the heavy lifting. Let us therefore sidestep the rigidity that confuses metaphors or statements literal, and relax into the flexibility that savors the chance explaining metaphors as similes. The late Dilgo Khyentse Rinpoche insisted that Tantra is based upon sutra with which it must never contradict. The Buddha was fond of teaching the 4 bases of mindfulness. In this circumstance, this context, they would be the circumstantial, the physical, the interpersonal, and the mental. We're going to bring the four bases of mindfulness into the path of impermanence and interdependence and emptiness. Together. All circumstances or loss could be as impermanent and interdependent as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow lights that could delightfully absorb into this body or form. So now we're going to silently and mentally recite the 6-syllable synopsis of that which we just chanted. We're going to divide the synopsis between our inhalation and our exhalation. Together. All bodies or forms could be as impermanent and interdependent as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light. Oopsie. That could delightfully absorb into this communication or speech. All interpersonal communication or speech could be as impermanent and interdependent as if it could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into this mind. Pardon me. Oh boy. It's moments like this I'm glad I don't wear a beard. I'd be I'd be crusty face. Okay. So in addition to playing with impermanence and interdependence, we're going to demystify the idea of emptiness, exploring it not as something literal, but simply as a figure of speech. All minds could be as impermanent and interdependent as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into a vast empty void, like the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although tantalizing to the eye, could be non-graspable to the hand. Now we silently and mentally recite the 6-syllable synopsis of that previous 4 pages. So what I'm going to do real quick, see if this works. That works better. Even better. Okay. Welcome to the first of 5 sets of mindful crease counting meditation. Oopsie, gotta take my hair down. All right. So let's rest the great knuckle at the base of our right little finger, upon the tip of our left little finger, palms up in our lap. Well, that is weird. Oh. Oh. Okay. Woof. Okay, gotcha. Whoa, wrong button. My goodness. Okay, here we go. Okay, kids, let's chant an explanation of the Benzagura mantra. I invoke teachers home action on meditation in whom view that the Benza Tantra Guru teaches. Pay my enlightenment and city abilities. Yeah, if I went like this with a just enlightenment. I have no idea why the dictionary is not recognizing that. Anywho, let's continue. Pay my enlightenment and city abilities, whom may be mastered by all. During our inhalation, we could silently and mentally recite the essential instructions of mindfulness and meditation. During our exhalation, we could strive to chant this 12-syllable mantra 5 times per breath for a total of 4 breaths. Om Ahum Benzaguru Me Maziri Hum 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 Om Ahum Benzaguru Me Maziri Hum. So here is the centralization of mindfulness and meditation. Each time we silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation, we are wired to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice mind's antics of perception. You know, seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, smelling, and the like, including emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination. During each exhalation, each time we silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during our exhalation, we are similarly wired to physically relax and mentally release that which we noticed during our previous inhalation, as if that which we noticed was now fleetingly less tantalizing, less defining, and even less permanent. Which, of course, is a reference to the first fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. So together, let us practice right now, but before we do, please, the moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist philosophy, or Buddhist meditation, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window, where it will probably be ignored and then pointed at and ridiculed. Welcome to the second of 5 sets of mindful crease counting meditation. Let's rest the great knuckle at the base of our right ring finger upon the tip of our left ring finger and place our hands palms up in our lap. Om Ahum Minzo Guru Me Maziri Hung 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 Welcome to this morning's group meditation. Let us now practice the essence of mindfulness and meditation. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist philosophy, or Buddhist meditation, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window. But I shall briefly get you up to speed. Each time we silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation, our sympathetic nervous system wires us to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice mind's antic self-perception. You know, seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, smelling, and the like, including emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination. On the other hand, each time we silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during our exhalation, our parasympathetic nervous system supports the physical relaxation and mental release of what we noticed during our previous inhalation, as if that which we noticed was now fleetingly less tantalizing, less defining, and even less permanent. Together, let us practice right now. Welcome to the third of 5 sets of mindful crease counting meditation. Ooh, here we go. Someone wrote, well, thank you very much for writing, and you will be included in today's prayers. But the what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? Do not hesitate to type your question. Chat window. So let's use this chat window for specific questions about Buddhist chanting, philosophy, and meditation. I invite you to let's each of us rest the great knuckle at the base of our right middle finger upon the tip of our left middle finger, palms up in our lap. During our inhalation, we can silently and mentally recite the essential instructions for mindfulness meditation. During our exhalation, we can physically relax as best we can while striving to chant this 12-syllable mantra 5 times per breath for a total of 4 breaths. Om Mahum Minzo Guru Me Masiri Hung Om Mahum Minzo Guru Me Masiri Hung Om Mahum Minzo Guru Me Masiri Hung Om Mahum Minzo Guru Me Masiri Hung. Om Mahum Minzo Guru Me Masiri Hung 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 Om Mahum Minzo Guru Me Masiri Hung. Om Mahum Minzo Guru Me Masiri Hung 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 Om Mahum Minzo Guru Me Masiri Hung. Om Mahum Minzo Guru Me Masiri Hung 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 Om Mahum Minzo Guru Me Masiri Hung. Now let us practice the essence of mindfulness and meditation. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, philosophy, or meditation, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window. Okay, so let's explore that. So what I'm going to do real quick like a bunny is I'm going to tap a button 8. Oopsie, that's the wrong button. Let's try that again. There we go. Okay, so perhaps you have a friend who is better versed in English than you. They would help. They might be very helpful. Uh, so at the end of this morning's practice, we will send benedictions, blessings to all beings everywhere, including you and your family. For all beings minds, for all beings relationships, for all beings bodies, for all beings circumstances. But I have to be honest with you. That's an extra added plus. That's icing on the cake. The main thrust of this is to get better and better at noticing and letting go. Mindfulness and meditation. The greatest miracle is not magic. It's simply mastering the Buddha's Eightfold Path. So if you have a friend who's well versed in English, perhaps if you can bring your friend over the next time you watch a live stream, and they may be able to translate for you. Let's continue. So I'm going to tap button 9. And I'm going to move forward. Welcome to the 4th of 5 sets of mindful crease counting meditation. So what we're going to do is rest each fingertip upon its corresponding knuckle, with our right hand on top, our left hand on the bottom. We're going to place both these hands in our lap. Om Mahum Guru Me Masari Hung 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 Om Mahum Guru Me Masari Hung. So if you don't have a friend who's well versed in English, maybe you can find one online, maybe through your country's version of Facebook or something like that. Om Mahum Guru Me Masari Hung 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 Om Mahum Guru Me Masari Hung. So Buddhism has always relied on translators, and there have been many famous translators, people who were able to speak Sanskrit and Chinese, or Sanskrit and Tibetan, and the like. Om Mahum Guru Me Masari Hung 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 Om Mahum Guru Me Masari Hung. Now let us practice mindfulness and meditation, sitting like the Buddha. My friend, I'm sorry that you're having such difficulties accessing social media in your country. Um, is there a community center or perhaps a pub or a restaurant where people hang out where you can network and find someone who maybe can help you with English? We come to the fifth of 5 sets of mindful crease counting meditation. So if you could remind me of your first name and just type that down, that would be helpful. Let's rest the great knuckle at the base of our right index finger upon our left index finger, palms up in our lap. Excuse me. Om Ahum Benzaguru Me Maziri Hung 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 Om Ahum. Is it Victor or Vict? Om Ahum Benzaguru Me Maziri Hung Om Ahum Benzaguru Me Maziri Hung Om Ahum Benzaguru Om Ahum Benzaguru Me Maziri Hung 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 Om Ahum Benzaguru Me Maziri Hung. Okay, Victor it is. So let us sit, just like we see in the diagram. And together let us practice mindfulness and meditation. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, philosophy, or meditation, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window. And now, as promised, here comes the benediction. Let's chant Mahayoga's kind similes to better master the loving kindness integral to the second through fifth folds of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. But please chant with me. Rather than indulge or controlling tendencies with the follies of active visualization, emotion, magic, and belief, we could just recite these kind words in harmony with our breathing and allow our subconscious to do the heavy lifting. Let us therefore sidestep the rigidity that confuses metaphors or statements literal, and relax into the flexibility that savors the chance explaining metaphors as similes. So we're going to include Victor and his family in this. May each mind of each being, including Victor and his family, now be as joyfully enlightened as the mind of a real or imagined Buddha symbolized by Etikli Wansuru Musiro Bisha Mantra. And now we're going to silently and mentally recite the six-syllable synopsis of that which we just chanted. May all relationships, communication, or speech of all beings, including Victor and his family, now be as peacefully loving as a real or imagined Buddha's speech, symbolized by a multisyllabic mantra. May all bodies and forms of all beings, including Victor and his family. Let's try this again. May all bodies or forms of Victor and his family and all beings now enjoy the beautiful health represented by Buddha statuary, depicting the blissful body of a real or imagined Yidam, an archetype of enlightenment such as Kuntu Zangpo Yam. Ah, look at that. Okay, let's go back and fix that. Let us lovingly wish that all beings Let us lovingly wish that all beings, including Victor and his family, be liberated from the tyranny of others. Sexism, racism, homophobia, transphobia, Islamophobia, classism, exploitation, fascism, jingoism, genocide, speciesism, and ecocide. May each circumstance unlock Victor and his family and each being now have the safety and good fortune all boon. As a Buddha's real or imagined, paradise, pure land or vati, depicted in Buddhist paintings. You have taken your first step into a much larger world. If you feel, if you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 8 3/4 hours, I would very much like to return to lead today's evening meditation class and group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.